वहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। Let's chant all the verses today. Om Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashochan Anvashocastvam Prajnabadancha Bhashase Gatasunagatasuncha Nanushocanti Panditaah Veda Vinashinam Nityam Yahenamajam Abhyayam Katham Sapurusha Partha Kanghatayati Hantikam Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Parthamanogatan Atmanyevatmana Tushtaha Sthitaprajnastadochyate Maya Tatamidam Sarvam Jagadavyaktamurtina Matsthani Sarvabhutani न चाहन्तेष्वस्थितः लोकेऽस्मिन् विविधा निष्ठा पुरा प्रोक्ता मया नघ ज्ञानयोगेन साङ्ख्यानां कर्मयोगेन योगिनां कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि यतः प्रवृत्तिर्भूतानां येन सर्वमिदं ततं स्वकर्मणा तमभ्यर्च्य सिद्धिं विन्दति मानवः। सर्व संन्यासस्तु महाबाहो दुःखमाप्तुमयो गतः योगयुक्तो मुनिर्ब्रह्म न चिरेणाधिगच्छति सर्वकर्माणि मनसा सन्न्यस्यास्ते सुखं वशी नवद्वारे पुरे देहि नैव कुर्वन्न कारयन् सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः। हरिः ओम्। So we have to complete our understanding of sannyasa. Sannyasa means giving up. So we can give up, if you give up the results, if you give up the insistence on the results of action, then that is karma yoga. If you give up the results, if you give up the anxiety, or rather if you give up the insistence on the results of action, then you are a karma yogi. So giving up karma phala is that. Also giving up the insistence on action itself. Whatever action comes for me to do, I do it without complaint. That is also karma yoga. So these two are attitude with reference to karma and karma phala. So this attitude is what is karma yoga. Karma yoga means not doing karma, but this attitude, having this attitude with reference to all the actions and with reference to the results of action. This is karma yoga. If you do that, then you are giving up your insistence on what the karma should be or what the karma phala should be. So that giving up makes it equal to sannyasa. It makes you have a very objective attitude with reference to the results of action. Objective attitude with reference to all actions. And this objective attitude gives you the maturity called sannyasa. So therefore, the Lord in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita equates karma yoga to sannyasa. So sannyasa is actually giving up. So there what the actual, when you take sannyasa, then the sannyasi has to give up all karma. So he gives up all the role playing that he does. He's been playing various roles. He or she has been playing various roles, that of the son, father, daughter, mother, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, mother-in-law. All these roles are given up. Member of the society. All these roles are given up, and you take up the role of a student, and you keep learning to the exclusion of everything else. So when you give up all the roles, you give up all the actions, other actions, then you only concentrate on the action of study, and that is called sannyasa. And that sannyasa can be taken if you have a matured mind. And after taking up the sannyasa, you go for the knowledge with which you give up all action. Action cannot be given up at all. Action can be given up only with knowledge. So this is what I had touched upon last week. We cannot give up any action. There are so many actions that are happening at the physical, at the mental, at the intellectual level. All these actions can never be given up. Actions will keep happening. There are so many involuntary actions like breathing, beating of the heart, circulation of the blood, then the digestive system working. All these are all involuntary actions. Closing and opening of the eyelids, all involuntary actions. These actions keep happening. But other than that, the actions of walking, catching, holding something, leaving something, walking, speaking, eating, all these actions are going to happen. We cannot totally eschew all actions. Nobody can ever give up all actions. That's what the Lord also tells in the 3rd chapter, where he says, Nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Nobody can be without doing an action. even for an instant. So therefore, we cannot give up action. Then how can you give up action? You can only give up the action by giving up the doership. Doership has to be given. What is doership? So doership I had earlier defined when we studied Tattva Bodh also, that doership is called ahankara. Doership means ahankara. Ahankara means what? Ahankara means that aspect of the mind which owns up the action that you do. There is an aspect of the mind which owns up all the actions that you do. That aspect of the mind is known to you. That aspect also is within the awareness, within your awareness. So therefore, that attitude, that owning up of the action, that faculty of owning up of the action is also known by you in the form of a thought. So this thought, ahankara, is actually a thought. Ahankara, I am doing, is a thought. Okay, there are two thoughts that basically we all have. One is I thought, and one is this thought. This thought is with reference to all the objects that you are relating to at any given point of time. So when you relate to any object, that object becomes this, and that object is registered in your mind as a thought. So every object comes to gain the status of this. So this thought, this table, this computer, this jug of water, this picture, this wall, that road, that also will become this when you go to near to it. So everything can be covered by the word this. Every object in the world can be covered by this, and every object is registered by you only in the form of a thought. So every object is a this thought. This thought, idam vritti. In Sanskrit, we call it idam vritti. So let this word remain in your mind. Next time when we study something else, you might need to take a look into this. This thought is called idam vritti. And you have I thought. Who is the I thought? The I thought is the ahankara. I thought is that aspect of your mind which registers all the this thoughts and relates to them. And when it relates to those thoughts, it owns up the action with reference to those objects. I am cooking. So cooking is an action that is happening in front of you, that is covered by the this thought, and I am cooking, I am doing the action. That means the action of cooking is owned up by this particular aspect of your mind. That is ahankara. So there are I thoughts and this thought. Okay. All these thoughts, they come and go. Every thought comes and go. All the this thoughts, they come and go. Every this thought is like a temporary employee in a company. You hire them, you hire the temporary employee in the morning, you pay his wages in the evening and fire him. And you tell him that if you have work tomorrow, you will call him. Otherwise, you don't need him. So you give him his wages and send him away. Like that, every this thought is like a temporary employee that comes and goes away. All these thoughts, all the this thought is handled by the I thought. I thought is like a It's a permanent employee, like as though it is permanent. As I thought is as though a permanent member of the group. However, I thought also can be displaced because it is a thought. I thought is displaced when you go to sleep. In sleep, there is no ahankara. So that means I thought also can be displaced. You are capable of displacing the I thought also. You are capable of displacing all the this thoughts. Likewise, you are capable of displacing the I thought also. When you are enjoying something, then the enjoyership comes and the doer thought goes away. That time also you can displace. In deep sleep, there is neither an enjoyer thought nor there is a doer thought. Both the thoughts are displaced. What is not displaced? What is not displaced is I. I is never displaced. So that which is never displaceable, that is to be understood as Satyavastu, truth. I can never be displaced. You have gone through childhood, boyhood, teenage, middle age, old age, all these ages we have gone through, and we have seen that the I has never been displaced. I was there, boyhood came, childhood came. Childhood went away, I continued. Boyhood came, I was there. Boyhood went away, I continued. Boyhood went away, youth came or teenage came, I am there. I'm already there. While I is there, youth also goes away, middle age comes. Before middle age comes, I am there. Before old age comes, I am there. All the time I am there. There is no time when I is not there. When Sukha comes, I am there. When Sukha goes away, I am there. When Dukkha is there, when Dukkha comes, I am there. When Dukkha goes away, I am there. When there is something to laugh comes, before the joke comes, you are there. While the joke is being said, you are there, you are enjoying it. And when the joke is gone away, you are still there. So you survive the joke. You outlive all these things. So that which outlives everything is called Satyavastu. I is Satyam. Even your Ahankara comes and goes away because your Ahankara is displaced in deep sleep. Okay, there are very special times in the waking hours when your ahankara stands displaced. Your ahankara stands displaced. How? Just like now. If all of you are listening to this, if you are attentive, at this particular point of time, there is no doership in you. All your doership is kept away. Your doership was active till you came and sat in your respective chairs. Till you came and sat in your respective asanas, your will was there. So as long as will is there, ahankara is there. After having sat away, after having sat down on your respective seats, after starting your machine, putting it on the mute, and now listening. At this time, there is no buddhi. Your buddhi has been suspended. Buddhi means your free will. Your free will has been suspended, and so therefore that aspect of the mind which owns up action has been displaced, has been suspended. So now, right now, you are not a karta. You are not doing anything. Listening is not a karma. Listening happens automatically. Your buddhi has been given into the hands of the words. Your buddhi is surrendered to the pramana. Pramana means of knowledge. Your buddhi is surrendered to the pramana. Her buddhi is surrendered to the words, and the buddhi registers all the sentences in the form of words and registers the meaning without any effort. Buddhi is just capable of doing it. Buddhi does not do anything. Buddhi has surrendered itself to the words. So right now, there is no ahankara in you. Right now, there is no ahankara, there is no bhokta also. I'm not entertaining you. I'm not singing. I'm not playing any musical instrument. I'm not dancing before you. I'm not telling you a joke. I'm doing none of those things, and therefore, at this time, there is no bhokta also. There is no karta also, but the I is there. So this I, this conscious being I, which is sitting in the form of you in all these chairs, okay? That I is free from all actions. It is actionless. This I lights up all the actions that happen. At the level of the hands, actions happen. At the level of the legs, walking happens. At the level of the organ of speech, actions happen. At the level of eyes, seeing happens. At the level of the ears, hearing happens. At the level of the buddhi, thinking happens. All these actions you light up. This I lights up the thinking, I lights up the speaking, I lights up the seeing, hearing, I lights up the tasting, I lights up the speaking, the holding, the giving up, I lights up the walking, I lights up the sitting. All these actions which happen at the level of the body mind complex are all lighted up by the I. I does not do any action. No questions? I have a question. Objection. You are saying lighting up. Lighting up is an action. All of you have no questions because all of you are muted. That way. Anyway, and my question is this, that you say lighting up. Lighting up is an action. No, sir. Lighting up is not an action. There is no effort on the part of the sun to give light and heat. Just by its mere presence, the sun gives light and heat. Likewise, I also, there is no effort on the part of the I to do any action, to do any effort. There is no effort on the part of the I to light up the thought, to light up the eyes, to light up the hands, to light up the organ of speech, to light up the organs of walking, to light up the organ of eating. It has got no effort for lighting up all these. So I is free from action. That means I is actionless. So I just want you to make a note of this word, actionless. I is actionless. Karma rahit. Karma rahityam in Sanskrit. Actionlessness. Actionlessness is not inaction. Many people translate this actionlessness akarma. When they translate this akarta, they translate as inaction. Inaction is not actionlessness. Inaction means sitting quiet. If you sit quiet in meditation, for instance, suppose if I make you meditate and you sit quiet, you tell me whether there is effort in it or not. There is lot of effort in meditation. Effort to sit down, effort to sit quietly, effort to sit motionlessly, effort to relax yourself. There is relax. Even in relaxing, there is effort. So when you relax yourself, there is a lot of effort first. You have to put in all the effort, and then to be relaxed also is an effort. To be relaxed is an effort. At that time, your mind is totally occupied with controlling your actions, with controlling everything. Your mind is very active at that time. So sitting quiet in meditation is not inaction. Sitting quiet is not inaction. I told this incident once before. I had a boy at our house, my brother's son. He was a very young boy, very agitated all the time. All the time would be very busy. Hyperactive boy he was. So I told him that if you can sit quietly for a minute, I'll give you 1 rupee. 1 rupee was a big money that time, in the 70s, in the mid 70s. So this boy said, okay. He sat down quietly for 20 minutes without shaking or without doing any action, quietly, no speech and nothing. He just sat quietly. Why? Because he was waiting for that 1 rupee. He was going to gain 1 rupee. He was very happy with that. And he was contemplating on what all he would do with that 1 rupee. And he kept quiet. Now you tell me whether there was effort on the part of the boy to sit quiet or not. Can tell me by the shaking of the head or nodding of the head.
Yes.
Action tha ki nahi tha? Yes.
Yes.
There was action because he was deliberately trying to control all actions. That itself is an action. So inaction is just not sitting quiet. So therefore, we should understand that when we say inaction, outwardly there seems to be no action, but that is not actionlessness. Actionlessness is Atma, which does not act, which lights up the seeing, lights up the hearing, lights up the speaking, lights up the tasting, lights up the thinking, lights up the deciding, lights up the handling, lights up the walking, lights up the sitting, lights up everything, but it itself does not do any action. So there is a shloka in the 5th chapter which says, Pashyan, Shrinvan, Sprishan, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Shwasan, Pralapan, Visrijan, Grinnan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Api, Indriyani, Indriyartheshu Vartante, Iti Dharayan. There is a shloka, and this shloka tells that Pashyan, seeing, Shrinvan, hearing, Pashyan Shrinvan, Sprishan, feeling, Jigran, smelling, Pashyan Shrinvan, Sprishan, Jigran, Unmishan, closing of the eyelids and opening, Unmishan, Nimishan, Api, Indriyani, then Indriyani, Indriyartheshu Vartante. All the sense organs are active in the world, in the world of the objects. Sense organs are active in the world of objects. I do not do anything. This I does not do any action. So this is the only way, by this knowledge, that this I does not perform any action. Only by this only by this knowledge, only knowing this way that I does not do any action, can you give up action. That means you can give up action only by knowledge. केवल ज्ञान से कर्मों को छोड़ा सकता है. केवल ज्ञान से कर्मों का त्याग संभव है. One lady who knows Hindi, suddenly appeared here. So that's why I changed over suddenly. By knowledge alone can you give up. I am not doing. In my presence, the eyes see. In my presence, the mind thinks. In my presence, the mouth speak. In my presence, the hands move. In my presence, the legs move. In my presence, the body sits. In my presence, the mind changes thoughts. In my presence, the intellect registers. I does not do anything. So in this manner alone can you give up all actions. That means you can give up actions only by knowledge. So giving up of actions is possible only by knowledge. So this is called Jnana Karma Sannyasa. This is called Jnana Karma Sannyasa. Jnanena Karma Sannyasa. By jnana, by knowledge that I am not the doer, all karma is given up. Okay? This is the way we give up karma, by knowledge. So you cannot give up karma by any way. By giving up karma, you cannot give up karma. Suppose you become a sannyasi. When you become a sannyasi, then they have become a sannyasi. I have given up everything, he will say. If he says, I have given up everything, that means he has not given up that particular aspect of the mind by which he has given up all actions. He's given up all actions by his mind. I'm not the doer. I'm giving up, he says. But he is not giving up that doer. He's not giving up that agency. He has to give up that also. He has to give up the doership. So there is one shloka which appears in one of the Vedantic texts, which says, Teja dharmam, teja adharmam. So leave dharma, give up dharma and give up adharma, and give up that by which you are giving up both dharma and adharma. Give up that by which you are giving up. When you are giving up, that means what? You are owning up the action of giving up. I'm giving up. I'm going to take sannyasa. I'm wearing these clothes. There is also an ego there. That has to be given up too. And how can you give up that? You have to only give up by giving up. Action can happen only by understanding that I am not the doer. The I is not the doer. The doer is there in the mind, that aspect of the mind which owns up all actions happening. That aspect of the mind which owns up all the actions happening, that is called ahankara. Okay? So ahankara, it is nothing wrong to have the ahankara. You have ahankara, no problem. What happens is when this ahankara becomes vanity or ahankara becomes pride or ahankara becomes arrogance, then it is a problem. Ahankara is going to be there as long as the mind is there. But you have to have the understanding that this I, Atma, I don't do anything. I lights up all the actions that are happening. So this is called giving up of all actions by the knowledge. Sarva karmani, all actions by the knowledge. Manasa. Manasa means by knowledge. By the knowledge that I am not the doer. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya. Giving up all the actions by the knowledge that I am not the doer. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya. Sukham aste. Sukham aste means आराम से बैठा हुआ है. He's sitting happily. Where does he sit happily? So it says Navadware Pure Dehi. Who is he? He's the Dehi. Dehi means gone, who has got Deha, who has got the Sharira. He's Dehi. You have got a Deha. You have got a body, and so therefore you can look upon yourself as a Dehi. Shariri. Shariri also. One who has got a Sharira is Shariri. One who has got Deha is called Dehi. So this Dehi is seated here. Sarva Karmani Manasa, having given up all the actions by knowledge that I am not the doer. Sarva Karmani Manasa, by knowledge. Manasa means by knowledge. Giving up all actions by knowledge. Manasa Sanyasya, giving up. Sanyasya means giving up. Sanyasya Sukham Aste. He's sitting quietly, peacefully, happily. He's happily seated. He's happily seated in this Navadware Pure. This Dehi, this person who has this body, is happily seated in the Navadwara Puri. Navadwara Puri means, like there are so many Puris are there, no? Janak Puri and this Puri and that Puri. This is also Puri. Puri means a city. Navadware Puri, the city of 9 gates. This has got 9 gates. This physical body is a city of 9 gates. There are 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Here itself there are 7. Then you have 2 other. You know, the way you I mean all the malam of the body, all the dirt of the body is given out in the form of liquid or in the form of solid. So these are the 2 other holes. 7 plus 2, 9. In this Dehi is seated. Atma is seated. Atma does not do anything. Navadware Pure Dehi. What is he saying? Naiva Kurvan na Karyan. This Atma does not do anything. Naiva Kurvan. कुछ नहीं करते हुए बैठा है. Not doing anything. He is seated. Naiva Kurvan and na Karyan. Karyan means what? Karyan means he will make him do. Karyan means by causing to do. That causing also he doesn't do. Atma does not cause any action also. When he is not doing, Naiva Kurvan, he is not doing anything, nor Karyan, nor is he making anything to be done. He is not causing an action also. Sometimes, we need not do an action, but we can cause an action. We can cause an action. This is very easy to understand. When you see all these movies, you'll see there is a big gangster, the boss. The boss does not do anything. He makes it do. He hires all the gundas and makes them do the action. He causes them to do the action. He does not do anything. The main gunda, the boss, he does not do anything. He sits quiet. Na karoti, na kara. But he is kareti. He's making them do. The boss, he's making them do. He's paying them. He gets the supari. They say, in supari in Mumbai. I don't know how many of you are familiar with these words. If you should be in Bombay, then you will know or you should watch movies, Hindi movies. Then you will know all this supari. Uske naam pa supari liya. Supari liya means he's a mercenary killer to kill somebody. So that he has taken so much of money and he'll do the execution, job of execution. The boss need not do anything. Such a person causes the action to be done. Even otherwise, in a company and all that, or in your own house. So you let your maid do the cleaning and all that. You pay her for it and you don't do anything. You're causing her to do the action. What causes her to do the action? The maid does the action because she's going to be paid by the master. So therefore the master does not have to do it. The master relaxes and he pays, and the employee does everything. So the employees are caused to do the action by the employer. The employer is the cause of the action. Karayati. Like that, Atma is neither doing, na kurvan, na karayati. Karya doesn't, na Karyan. Karyan means is not make do. Atma doesn't cause any action to happen. Atma just illumines all the actions happening in its presence. Like the sun does not have and it does not take any effort to light up or give heat to the world. Like that, Atma does not light up. Atma does not have any effort to light up. Just by its mere presence, all the organs, they do the action. Intellect does the retaining, then there is this memory works, then the mind does the synchronization, then all the indriyas, all the sense organs, they pick up knowledge. They are reporters, sense organs are reporters. They report it to the mind interprets. All these actions happen in the presence of Atma. Atma does not do anything. So therefore, Atma is actionless. This knowledge is the most important knowledge which will make you give up kartapan, doership. Okay, it will make you free from the I thought, I notion. I told you there are two types of thoughts. One is this thought and the other is I thought. This thought is, any thought is a notion. Any thought is a notion. 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 Notion because it is a thought. When you see an object, you don't see the object inside your head. You only see the thought. So therefore, all the thoughts can be, this thoughts can be grouped under this notion. And the thinker of all the thoughts, I mean the person who gets identified with the thinking and gets identified with the action, he can be understood as the I thought. The I thought is more permanent. This thought keeps on changing. I told you they are like temporary employees in a company. You hire them in the morning and you hire them and fire them in the evening. Like that, all the temporary employees are. But this I is not, you cannot fire, he is not fired. He is not fired. He is there till the last moment. He is there till the last moment, till the body's last moment, till the body falls off, till the body falls off, till the expiry of the body. Okay, this is the word which everybody uses. I said, my uncle expired. No, sir, your uncle did not expire. His body expired. You should not use these words like that. I should not say that my body, my uncle expired or my father expired. No. Father, is he a document to expire? What expires? A document expires. So don't belittle him so much. My father expired, my mother expired. No, sir. They didn't expire, their body expired. So therefore, we should not use the word expired. To say that somebody is dead, we should say they passed away. Most polite way of saying they passed away, they are no more. Or in sannyasi's words, they sharir chhod diya. They have their own words of talking, sannyasis, sharir chhod diya. Like that. Or in English, they say he laid down the mortal coil. So this is supposed to be the mortal coil. He laid down the mortal coil. That is the language. In other words, what is dead? That's all it means. Who is dead? Body is dead, not the I. The I was always there. The I was there. That is why this body came to me. Before the body came, I was there. I was there in some other form. That form died. After that form died, I didn't die. I was there. I'm the survivor. So even if you don't know this knowledge of Atma ever being there, you're still a survivor. You're still a survivor. Atma is always a survivor. You are a survivor. The Jiva is a survivor. But now, having known that Atma, the Jiva, the survivor, is what actually, it is not the I thought. It is only I. So that means what? Now slowly you can dissociate yourself from the I thought. Any thought comes in consciousness. This thought, all the this thoughts, they come in consciousness. Every thought comes in consciousness. Consciousness is already there. A thought rises in consciousness, it is sustained by consciousness, and into consciousness it resolves. So every thought comes in consciousness and every thought disappears in consciousness. Consciousness does not disappear. Okay? Like that, all the I thoughts, they are all displaceable. Every thought is displaceable. Every this thought is displaceable. Every thought which is registered as this is displaceable. Like that, this I thought also is displaceable. I thought seems to be like more permanent. So if you don't succeed in displacing this I thought while you are living, then you will have to have one more body, because it is this I thought who travels as the jiva. This I thought travels as the jiva, next body. Then after what? Next body. Then after that, next body. Before this, previous body. Before that, previous body. Like that, this I has been traveling. This I thought, it is also a thought, okay? This I thought also is a thought. That I thought, the one, he seems to be more permanent than the this thought. The this thought disappears, but the I thought keeps on traveling. That means what? That means this I thought is the one who's to be recognized as the jiva. He gets the jivatvam. He gets the jivahood. Because of the jivahood, he becomes a hood afterwards. So jivahood is there only for the I thought. Okay? Jivahood is there only for the I thought. The I thought is the one who's a more permanent employee. So he has got all the accounts. He has got provident fund. He has got the insurance. He has got this fund, that fund, gratuity, and everything has to go. This is all like Papa Punya. Papa Punya in the name of Jiva. तो जीवा मर गया, उसके बाद क्या होगा? उसका क्या कर्म है, उसके अकॉर्डिंग टू द कर्म ही विल गेट द नेक्स्ट उपाधि, नेक्स्ट बॉडी. So the jiva will continue to get the next body and the next body and the next body as long as he thinks that I am this jiva. But suppose if he knows that this I thought also is only a thought, if he knows that this I thought is only a thought, this thought also came in consciousness, it exists in consciousness, and it dissolves in consciousness. If it knows this much, if you are able to know this knowledge, that this I thought also is a thought. Any thought is mithya. Mithya means what? Mithya means doesn't have its own independent existence. I thought does not have its own independent existence. I give it existence. So the Atma gives it existence. It does not have its own independent existence. So that is why this I thought also is mithya. Mithya means it depends. It is just comes and goes. I thought also is displaceable. If I thought is displaceable, that means you have succeeded in falsifying your doership. You have to falsify your doership. The doership, because of the doership, so much karma gets accumulated in your name, in the name of the jiva. So once the jiva succeeds in falsifying the I thought, then the ahankara is falsified. I continues. Nothing happens to I. I continues to exist. But then there is no karta, there is no doer. So there is no doer means this person who had the account, that person is not there. Jiva is dead. Once the Jiva is dead, then the file is closed. Okay? Once the Jiva is dead, then the file is closed. That means there is no more karma for him. There is no more janma for him. If there is no karma, then you need not take another body. If you have karma, then you need to take a body. Suppose we don't have a karma, we don't have any karma at all. You don't need to take a body. You are there. So you will be there as consciousness. There is only one consciousness, universal consciousness. Only one consciousness. So you will be enjoying the whole world as Ishvara. Consciousness is Ishvara. I told you this before. So as Ishvara, you will be enjoying the whole world. You will be enjoying all the people, the whole jagat में कोरोना वायरस है, देखो क्या करते हैं लोग, कैसा तड़पते हैं, कैसा हैंडल करते हैं, देखो तुम अपने आप देखो, मजे में देखो सबको. Nothing, consciousness is not affected, Ishvara is not affected. Only he can put an end to it if he wants. Now he has to check on the levels of all the karma of all the people. Then he has to do some miracle, I suppose. If he does it, then this coronavirus will go away. Otherwise, it will continue. And it's going to become more and more intense, it seems. Well, understand? So therefore, Jiva will continue as long as Karta continues. Once the Kartapan, once the doership is falsified, enjoyership also is falsified, then I alone exist. So therefore, this Jiva who has the account of all previous karma and all that previous karma account and all the accounts will be closed. And since there is no more doer left, there is no karma left also. So all the karma standing against the Jiva, in the name of the Jiva, will be cancelled, will be nullified, or will be declared as null and void. There is no more karta. And that Jiva is free. He is a mukta purusha. And by living itself, he is free. Because only by living you can get this knowledge. Only by living you can get this knowledge. And this knowledge, if you have in this life, then while living itself, you are free. This is called Jivan Mukta. All these are all very technical things, not easy to understand. And not after having understood whatever I have told you now, it is not easy to retain. So you have to keep listening to this a number of times, which will keep me permanently employed with you. But suppose if you are able to falsify this kartapan, this is the knowledge you have to be in all the time. Because the I, Atma, is not the doer. I, Atma, cannot do any action without the mind, without the intellect, without the sense organs, without the organs of actions. I cannot do any action. So therefore, from the standpoint of I, at the level of I consciousness, no action is happening. All actions happen in consciousness. Consciousness does not do any action. Consciousness is free from all actions. So like that, if you know that you are free from all actions, if you happen to falsify the doership, then you have succeeded in knowing that you are a samsari. You are not a samsari. Okay. This is the fundamental, this is solving of the fundamental problem. So because I'm a doer, because I think I'm a limited person, therefore there are many wants. I'm not telling you that you should not have wants. You can have as many wants as you want. But suppose if the wants manage you, then it becomes difficult. You should know how to manage your want. Shastra does not tell you that you should not have wants. It only tells you that you find yourself as a wanting person. That is a problem. That does not tell you remove all the wants. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं हुआ. Wants can't be removed, but you have to understand all these wants are there because I don't know my nature. That is ignorance. So until you bring this knowledge, the ignorance will not go. So therefore, what do the sannyasis do? The sannyasis pursue this knowledge to the exclusion of everything else. Unless you go for the knowledge, there is no liberation possible. Liberation from karma. It is not possible. So you have to falsify the doership. Only then can you become free. The doership can be falsified only by knowledge. And so therefore, only the pursuit of knowledge alone can make you free. Other things which you do, other devotional practices, religious practices which you do will make you prepared for the knowledge, all right. But only knowledge will liberate you. So therefore the Lord tells in the last sloka, he says, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam charanam braja. Mam ekam, seek my refuge. Seek my refuge means come to know me. He says, Sarva dharman parityajya, leave all the dharma. Just few more minutes I'll take. Leave all the dharma. Leave all the dharma means leave all karma. What is dharma? Dharma means papa and punya. Okay? Dharma means papa and punya. Dharma means all whatever you gain by your karma. So you gain either papa or you gain either punya. What is papa? Papa is an action by which you deliberately cause discomfort for someone, or you deliberately cause disharmony in the creation. Let me create a virus and leave it in the world and let everybody get infected. All people will be affected, but we know how to prevent ourselves from getting infected, and so therefore we insulate ourselves. We have got a vaccine. All the important people in our country will not be affected by the virus. Everybody in the whole world will get affected. And then what will happen? The whole world will slowly, they will all perish, and then afterwards we will enjoy all the power. This is causing disharmony in the creation. Okay? This is an action of adharma, but action. So any action can be good or bad. If it is going to cause disharmony in the creation, or if it is going to become, or it is going to produce some discomfort or pain to somebody, then it is a papa. And if it is going to cause comfort to somebody, or if it is going to promote the harmony in the creation, then it is punya. So any action of yours can be either papa or punya. All papa and punya is caused by dharma. So that is what is dharma. So the Lord says, Sarva dharman parityaya, leaving all the dharma. Leaving all the dharma means leaving all the karma. Give up all the karma and come to me. Mam ekam sharanam braja. Come to seek my refuge. I will liberate you. Aham tva sarva papebhyah. From all papas, I will liberate you. I will make you free by giving you this knowledge that you are not the doer. Aham tva sarva papebhyah mokshayishyami. I'll make you free from all karma. Because you should understand specially that you are not a karta. Karta happens at the physical level. The karma happens at the physical level. The Lord very clearly unfolds this in chapter 13, first 2 verses. He says, this body is called kshetraha. Kshetra. Kshetra yani khet. Field. The body is field. Idam sharirang kaunteya kshetramiti avidiyate. This body is called a field. Kedar. Kedar means field. It's a field. Kedar. And the one who is the knower of the field, he is called Kshetrajnaha. Idam Shariran Kaunteya Kshetramiti Abhidhyate. This is called a Kshetra. And the one who knows this Kshetra, who knows, you know the Kshetra. Your own body, you alone know. So you, the knower of the Kshetra, is called Kshetrajnaha. You are called the Kshetrajnaha. The Lord tells that I is called Kshetrajnaha and body is called Kshetra. Then in the next verse, the body says that the Kshetrajna in all the bodies, of human being, aquatics, animals, insects, rodents, ye, wo, everybody. The Kshetrajna in all the bodies is I. Kshetrajnan chape mam vidhi. May you know that the Kshetrajna in all the bodies is I. That means what? Straight away, he bridges the gap between you and him. This bridge is always open. Not like Amit Chatterjee's bridge. 5:15 only it will open. ऐसा नहीं है. This bridge is always open. Okay? So this knowledge, you come to me, come to seek my refuge, I will give you this knowledge. The Lord says, this body is Kshetra, and the knower of the body is Kshetrajna, and the Kshetrajna in all the bodies is I. Finished? He has liberated you, he has made you free. This understanding you should always have. Now that you have the understanding, you have become a gulla. You know gulla, rasgulla wala? Like that. This rasgulla, you make that curdled milk or whatever, you make a gulla out of it. But that is only a gulla. You have to put it in the rasa. The gulla has to be in the rasa, only then he'll be a rasgulla. Like that, we have the knowledge now. We have all become gullas. We have to be in the rasa all the time. Rasagulla. You have to be in the knowledge all the time. So that will keep me employed. So don't think that this is the last class. I wanted to complete this particular topic. So I have managed to do it. Took 2-3 minutes more, but I managed to do this topic. We will continue with this study. We can continue with this study, whomsoever wants to. But give me a short break so that I recover completely with the eye and all that. That's all. I wanted a short break. Chotta sa break. I'll tell you like Amitabh Bachchan, don't go anywhere, come back. Hum abhi aa rahe hain, like that. So I'll come back as quickly as possible. So we'll have another session of another study. Whomsoever wants, if you like this study, I'm sure you like it, because this study makes you free from all sense of want. Because the eye is full. So if the eye is full, then if you have any desire and all that, that is only because you don't know about your fullness. Because of their ignorance only, you have desires. So there's nothing wrong in having desires. You can have hundreds of desires. Even Lord Krishna had desires. He had a desire to play the flute. He had the desire to go here, desire to go there, and all that. So many things he had. He had the desire to eat butter. So many desires he had. Nothing wrong in having a desire, so long as the desire does not hold you to ransom. Suppose if the want holds you, suppose if the wants start managing you, if all the wants they start managing you, then you are in the hands of the wants. What you should do is you should manage your wants. Why you are wanting? Because you don't know that you are limitless. Once you know that you are limitless, then you will not worry about the wants. You will grow over the wants. So you will grow over the wants, and this has to be a gradual process. This has to be a continuous learning process. Therefore, our learning never stops. Even for me also, learning never stops. I think I'll keep learning till the last day I get into the grave. Learning should never stop. Each day, with each class, my own clarity also grows. So therefore, I keep sharing this knowledge, not because I want to enlighten all of you. I have not taken any contract to enlighten people. But I'll share this knowledge, and in the process, if you benefit, I'm happy. I'm fulfilled. I'm already fulfilled. The sea is always full. All the rivers, they rush into it. But the going rivers, all the rushing rivers, all the rivers rushing into the sea, they don't increase the quantity of the water. The sea always remains full. Sea doesn't overflow. Because it cannot overflow. It is full. So like that, this should be. This knowledge it should keep me full. It should keep you also full. So this is the knowledge which I'm very happy to share with you, and I thank all of you as you consistently listen to this. So we'll start another session as soon as possible. Some other text we'll take up to study, or we can take up the study of the whole Gita itself. That also we can do. We'll see how we proceed about it. We'll take it as it comes, like we have to take life as it comes. I don't know. I never planned all these things. When I was a youngster, or when I was a boy, or when I was in Mumbai earning a living. All these things when I was doing, I never thought that I'm going to become like this and share this knowledge. There is something, some other karanam is there which pushed me to this. That means it clearly shows I'm not the doer. Even you, all of you have where you started. All of you started as ignorant babies. From there, now you have come this far. What is it that took you this far? What is it that gave you the parents that gave you this upbringing? What is it that gave you the good education? What factor is it that put you in touch with good education? It put you in touch with good teachers. It put you in touch with good learning. All these things happened. So that's what I'm telling. All the things keep happening. I don't do anything. With that knowledge also, you can resolve your doership. Everything happens. I don't do anything. दुनिया चलाने वाला कोई और है, वो चलाता है. जिसको चलाना है चलाने दो. I'm not going to resist. I'm going to relax in that order. He runs it properly. Even if you do this much, you are free. Even if you are able to understand that he runs everything properly, I don't want to do anything. I submit and relax in that order. I put my feet up. I relax in that order called Ishvara. He's running everything. I don't do anything. If you're a great singer, it is because you got the vocal cords, because you got the voice quality, because you knew how to sing. You got the training. Everything was given. If you're a great engineer, because all that knowledge was given to you. If you're a great scientist, it was because the knowledge was given to you. If you're a great businessman, it is because of all that knowledge was given to you. The opportunities were given to you. So those people who don't have the opportunities should not think that I'm not giving the opportunity, I'm not given. It will come. Whenever it comes, it will come. And when it comes, you won't have the hands to hold all that thing together. So many things will be given to you, but you won't have the container to contain all of them. There used to be one song, it says, बहुत दिया देने वाले ने तुझको आंचल ही न समाए तो क्या कीजिए. Aanchal, aanchal means your dupatta. He has given you a lot, but you don't have enough space in that dupatta to what he has given. See what all he has given. He has given 5 set of senses, 5 sense organs, 5 organs of action. You have got a mind to think. You have got an intellect to decide. You have got knowledge. Knowledge comes from outside. You are getting a good upbringing from parents. Parents have given you an upbringing. In fact, that is what married life is for. Married life is for children to get a proper upbringing. Somebody has given a beautiful upbringing for me. So I can give an upbringing to somebody else. By that, I'll be repaying my debt to this creator who has designed this creation like this. It's a great thing to be born in India where there is value for family life. Okay, the family life makes me grow. It is that because of which all of us have grown up like this. So that means what we all got all this infrastructure. Everything was given to us. What did we do? We didn't do anything. School education I got. Then I got the mind to imbibe that education. Whatever education was imparted, I got the mind to hold all that. Then I got a career in that. Then I got a house. I got a husband. It was given. I got a setup, an infrastructure where I could make my life. Children were given. Children could study. They have done well. He has done engineering. Somebody has done this. Somebody has done that. Somebody has become a doctor. Somebody has become a CA. All that was possible. What did I do in that? I didn't do anything. I just helped him. That's all. That helping also was me. I was motivated to help him. So the actual motivating factor or the actual factor that runs this creation is some other factor. You and I are not doing anything. That way also you can resolve your ahankara. But the best way to resolve the ahankara is by knowing that I'm not the doer. I'm not the doer. In my presence, all actions happen. So that will help you to falsify your jivatvam. It will help you falsify your jivahood. That is why this human birth is given. Your human birth is given for you to understand that you are someone different from the human body. The body is not you. You are different. That is why this body is given. That is why this life is given. So that is why I'm saying that the goal of life, the end of life, the place where I want to reach has to be reached while living. After dying, I'm not going to get any goal. The life, the life which is meant for living. While living, I can get this. While living, I can attain this end of being free, of knowing that I and Ishvara are not different. This is the kshetra. He is the kshetrajna. The kshetrajna is I. That I kshetrajna in all the bodies is he. Beautiful. See how beautiful it is. It sets you free. So this knowledge will completely set you free. Okay. Om Tat Sat. So that is why the Lord says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. May you give up all the karma and come to me. I will make you free from doership. I'll give you this knowledge, make you free from doership, and make you free from being a doer. I'll make you free from living a constant life of becoming. That is what is samsara. संसार से हम फ्री करेंगे. What is संसार? संसार means constant becoming, a life of constant becoming. You become one thing, then after that you are not satisfied. Another thing comes up. I want to become that. I want to become owner of this. I want to become doer of that. I want to become expert in this. I want to do this. I want to do that. That doership, as long as it continues, and it will continue all the time, and you will never stop doing the doer. Any action will never stop. This is called samsara. So samsara will continue. Why it continues? Because you discover wants in your mind. So all these wants, when you want to satisfy, they are only topical wants. With reference to a particular topic, the want is. But the fundamental being is what? I don't know. I don't know. So therefore, I take myself to be an incomplete being. So since I said take myself to be an incomplete being, there is always this sense of doership. There is always this sense of wanting to become something. That constant sense of becoming is called samsara. So therefore, I should, suppose if I tackle the fundamental problem. What is the fundamental problem? Fundamental problem is that I always find myself to be limited, to be mortal, to be a seeker. That I should know. Is that I a seeker? Is that I a doer? What is the nature of that I? Is that I a mortal? That I should know. Once I know that, then I'm completely free. Okay? So this is the knowledge. Okay, thank you so much. All the best. Om Namah Shivaya. So we'll start another one later on, whenever it is. Okay? Thank you for listening to me all these days.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Shall we do the prayer? Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you all.
Pranam, sir.
Om.
Om Swami ji.
Om.
Hari Om Swami.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Thank
Hari Om all of you.
you.
Pranam Swamiji.
Thank you, Amit.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Om Tat Sat.
Bye. Could I take one picture,
Bye.
Swamiji, of this?
Bye.
Take a picture of this.
So we'll be on that touch. The group will be on. We'll be in touch. So we'll know what is happening. So we'll put each of us will be abreast of what is happening. Okay. Om Namah Shivaya. We'll take a very short break and then we'll be back. Om.
वहाँ देखिए कितना सुंदर वो
Okay. Hari Om. All of you.
तारा उस तरफ है
Om.
Okay. I'm closing, Swamiji, bridge. With your
Sorry.
permission.
Yeah. The
Closing the
bridge.
bridge with your
You
permission.
can break the bridge.
Break the
You
bridge.
can break the bridge if you want to. Bomb लगाओ नीचे. Om Namah Shivaya.
Hari Om, Swami. Bye, everyone. Hari Om.